Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here, and welcome to week 2 of Vlogmas. I was so excited. I woke up and it had snowed. I love the snow so much, especially at Christmas time, so I was super excited about that. As I was looking out, I noticed, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, but I noticed a bunch of like paw prints, like trails, and I was wondering what it was, and then I noticed that it was Loki. This is my neighbor's cat. He was outside and he was jumping around in the snow. It was super cute. He was just a year old, so he hasn't really been in the snow much, or at least not for a long time. So anyway, I made my coffee. John is still gone away at this point, so just having coffee in bed with Marley. I think I was watching some General Hospital episodes from like the 90s. I'm like so enjoying that so much. I'm so into it, like even more than today's episodes. But so that's what I was doing. It's probably until like 8 or something. So when I came down, I wanted to see, once it was daylight, how much snow had accumulated. I just love it so much. Unfortunately, it rained and it all went away. But Marley was crashed at this point, which is so adorable. This is what I call Marley's big sleep. So usually when she goes to sleep is when I can leave the room and get some things done without her getting too upset. So I did a little bit of cleaning in the kitchen, and then John came home and he was so excited. I made him a cup of coffee and I was making myself a mocha. I was getting things done. I think John was packaging orders. Anyway, I was having some lunch of a salad, and I was still watching old episodes of General Hospital while I was waiting for the new episode that day to start. So that's what I was doing. And then John had bowling to go to that night, even though he had just got home. So he left and went to bowling. I came upstairs. I think I was going to watch a movie, and I noticed Marley wasn't in the room, so I was a little bit concerned, but she had come in here in John's room. Just so cute. Once she knew I was back upstairs, though, she did not take long before she came in the room to have some cuddle time with me. She had like a bit of a health issue, and so it's just been like super stressful. She's doing much better now, but like we think that she might have fallen and hurt herself, so like we don't know for sure. But so then I remembered that I had an Advent to open. I've been trying to like do it first thing in the morning, but I keep forgetting. So I got some avocado shower gel, which smells really good. I don't think I like typically use this scent, but it smells good. So John texted me from bowling to let me know that the people that he was staying at their house, like looking after their dogs, wanted to know if he could spend one more night there. So he usually like takes his pillows with him. So like he hadn't even unpacked or done anything yet. So he said he was going to go back over and spend another night. So I had turned on his tree so that it would be on when he came home, because sometimes I'm asleep by the time he gets home. But I took his pillows downstairs to put by the door, and a pair of pajamas for him. And then I noticed that Marley wasn't sleeping on her blanket because she's very particular about it, so I fixed that for her. Usually she stays in bed with me until I fall asleep, and then she leaves and sleeps by herself, so she's generally on the couch sleeping, so I fixed that up for her. I felt so bad for John because he was so excited to be home. He hasn't been like sleeping very well where he was staying, and he was just so excited to sleep, you know, in his own bed and everything when he got home. So I felt really bad for him. So it's the next morning, and as soon as Marley knows I'm awake, she is like immediately has to come in the bed with me, which is super cute. I usually just have my coffee in bed with her in the morning just so we can spend some time together, especially like just her like being hurt and just like not knowing what was wrong at first, and like I was just a complete wreck for like a solid 48 hours, just thinking that it might be like, you know, the end of her life. And I just was, it's so hard. Like, our other cat has been gone now for 3.5 years, and like I still cry about it every single week, and it's, I don't know, I'm just like not prepared. Like, I try to prepare myself, but I don't know, it's really hard. But she's doing much better, but the reality is she's like 19.5, so, you know, she's already lived a long life and everything, but I just want her to live forever. So she gets up in the sink to drink, and it's like, you know, she's 19. So we were upstairs getting ready for bed, and we just heard a noise, like sounded like she fell. And, you know, we just ran downstairs afterwards because she made like a really long meow after. And they say, you know, cats always land on their feet. Like, I don't know that that's necessarily true. But she seemed fine. But the next day I just noticed, and it was ever so slight, but I just pay attention to every single thing about her because I'm terrified that she's going to be like suffering in some way. And I just don't want that to happen. So I'm always very on top of everything she's doing. So I noticed she was acting a little bit different. And then when I saw her walking up the stairs, she was walking a little different. So I was immediately like freaking out. Anyway, we called the vet. They were able to get her in the next day. But that whole like just waiting overnight was like, I didn't sleep at all. I was so terrified. But so I was thinking like just the worst. I think I was just trying to prepare myself, but she went to the vet the next day. She has a really amazing vet too, and he was like, no, it's nothing like that. Chances are she probably did fall and she hurt herself, so she gets like a regular shot that helps with pain and inflammation, but he gave her an additional shot, like a different thing that was like a slow release pain thing. So pretty much immediately when she got home, she was like kind of back to her normal self. So she was probably just in some level of pain after she had fallen, which I'm like 100% or maybe like 99% sure that she fell trying to get up and get some water. So anyway, I did kind of try to rectify that situation. It's really hard. I wish that she would just drink from the bathtub, but you know, it's really hard to get a cat to do something other than what the cat wants to do. So here we are. So John was home that day. Finally, we try to watch a Christmas movie like every night. So we were watching this Christmas movie with Robin Williams that we had never seen before. It was quite funny. Lauren Graham was in it as well, who we love. So yeah, it was quite good. I wouldn't watch it every year, but it was quite funny. We had some popcorn too, which is really good. We haven't had popcorn in a long time. And then I realized again I needed to open my advent calendar. And it ended up being the tea tree like cleansing toner, which I have been using every day since, and it's amazing. And now I want to buy like a full-size one, but I used to just order online from the Body Shop because I don't live close to one, but they don't do that anymore. So I don't know when I'll actually get to a Body Shop again, but announced the next morning, and I'm doing it again the next morning right away so that I don't forget. There's been a couple of days where I forgot to open and had to do like 2 days in one. But I got some body butter, which is so good, especially this time of year. It gets super dry because it's so cold here where I live. So always can never have too much of that. And so that day for lunch, I had a frozen lasagna in the freezer. So I just pulled that out, added the cheese, I put it in. While that was in the oven baking, I did the dishes And then I decided to make some cupcakes for John because he had just had such a rough couple of weeks being away. And so this is like a cake. It's actually a cake mix, but I'm making cupcakes out of it. But basically, you mix all the dry together, and then you make 3 wells, and then you add in the liquid, and then you pour a cup of water over the top, except I'm doing it with instant coffee, like water that I've added instant coffee to. I'm not sure why, but like coffee brings out the flavor of chocolate even more. So anyway, it's a cake that doesn't have like eggs in it or dairy or anything. I think it was popularized during the war, from what I understand. I think it has a bunch of different names, but anyway, I had those Rudolph cupcake like liners that I had found the previous week, and so I wanted to use those up. I didn't actually have enough. I probably should have made them a little smaller, but we just got some like Betty Crocker frosting to use for that. But the lasagna was so good. I had some Parmesan cheese from the store, and then some that I just make from cashews, and it was so good. So easy too. Whenever I make lasagna, I try to make 2 and put one in the freezer so that I have times like that. But yeah, you can see the cupcakes progressively kind of got a little smaller as I went, because I realized I was making them too big. I wasn't gonna have enough, but I think they look adorable, and John was super excited when he realized that I had made the cupcakes. And so I was gonna throw some towels in the washer, and I had washed some sheets earlier that day or the day before, so I was gonna fold those and put them away. Marley was back in John's room again. So cute. So it's the next morning. Marley and I are doing our usual thing, except we're not watching TV because John's sleeping. But I usually turn the tree on in the mornings as well. In here, it's definitely a cozy, festive vibe, which I need all the festive vibes I can get, because I'm just not, I don't know, I'm having like a hard time still getting into the like festive Christmas spirit. It's getting a little better, but I don't know. But sometimes I'll make my to-do list during this time, because if I didn't do it the night before, I prefer to do it the night before, but it doesn't always work out. So I was making like a taco bowl for John. I had some leftover rice in the fridge. I'm kind of having the same thing, except I'm having it in like a salad version. So I had some like kale slaw and stuff instead of rice, but it was very good. And I'm trying to use random things up, but John had gone to the grocery store to pick up a few things we needed, and finally found this silk like festive creamer. We hadn't seen it all year, and I thought it was really interesting. So anyway, we are having our dinner, and we've been watching movies in the basement because it's super cozy down there, and we have a tree in the basement and stuff. But on this night, we were actually watching a movie that was filmed in the town that we used to live in. It's like a Hallmark movie called Believe in Christmas, and it was so cool just like seeing it, and the place that I used to work was in it as well, and I don't know, it's just neat. But then after that, I've been like feeling super tired at night, so I've been going to bed like even earlier than normal, or at least getting in bed pretty early. Sometimes if I don't watch General Hospital during the day, I'll just get in bed at the end of the night and watch that, and then go to sleep. But the next morning was up super early, getting ready because we were going out thrifting. So I'm taking some non-drowsy Gravol because I get car sick really easily, so I try to prepare myself. But we went to a bunch of different thrift stores, and then it was around lunchtime, and we noticed that the Walmart there, which we were planning on going to, had a Burger King. So we were like, oh, we'll just eat in there. But unfortunately, the Burger King was not open yet, like as in for business. So then we ended up finding an A&W, and we went to that and got a veggie burger. I just brought my own mayo from home because I don't like ketchup or mustard on my burgers, really. It was the gloomiest, rainiest day. Like, it was downpouring the whole day we were out. We had to drive about 3 hours away from home to like start going to different places, but I wanted to film a whole bunch in one day, so which it was worth it, but I wish it wouldn't have been such a gloomy day. But once we were done with all of our stops, we went to Starbucks and got an oat nog latte, which was so good for the drive home because we had about an hour and a half to drive home. And as soon as I got home, Marley came downstairs and started screaming at me. And then when I tried to go up to her, she ran away from me. So she was letting me know she was pissed because we were gone for like 12 or 13 hours that day. But we went to a couple grocery stores because we live in such a small area. They don't always carry some things, but we found this Canadian bacon, which we haven't seen for years. So we bought some of that. We got some of this cheese for like Christmas time that they don't sell where we live. We just got some regular bacon. I also saw my favorite plant-based sour cream, so I wanted to get that. We're thinking about actually making like Christmas dinner. We're not really, well, especially me, I'm not really a big Christmas dinner person, but we're thinking about doing it this year. So we got some of those. And this is the thing that I really wanted to get that we can't get where we live, but they're these plant-based and gluten-free like squares. So we got these last year and they're so good. So we got a box of each of those, and John was so excited. He found this like video game thing that he wanted really bad when he was a kid. I think it was like early 90s. And he found it like still in the case and everything for, I think it was $30. So he was so excited about that. I felt really happy for him. He was like, I have to buy this and keep it for myself, not resell it. So yeah, he was very excited about that. So he was wanting to show me all of it. I had never seen one before. I don't even know if I knew that it existed, to be honest, until he told me about it. But after he got done showing me that, I was so tired. I couldn't wait to just take a shower, get in my pajamas, and get in bed. Marley had forgiven me a little, so she was coming around a little. So I got her a big bowl of food, and we had a little cuddle before bed. I always feel super bad whenever I have to leave her, but she was doing okay. I think this is the next morning because I think I end up opening like 2 up because I had not opened. And at first I was thinking it was day 4, but then I realized no, it's day 5, and it was actually day 6. Which I can't believe how fast December is going by. Like Christmas is so soon now, and I feel like I'm not fully in the Christmas spirit yet. So I don't know. I've been trying just to like not freak out about it and just, it is what it is. Right now I'm actually sick, like with a cold or flu, which was like a huge bummer, but just gonna have to, I don't know, accept it. It is what it is. It's fine. So on day 5 I ended up getting like a loofah, but they've changed it from plastic to like natural materials, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what it's made it of, or I can't remember, but I've used them before and they're quite good. So, and then on day 6, which is the day it was that day, I ended up getting some coconut shower cream, which coconut is one of my favorite scents to use in the summertime. So that was exciting. Little sleeping baby Marley. Oh, she's so adorable. And so the day before, while we were out, John also got this bowl. A few weeks ago, or maybe even in October, he had bought a mug with the same pattern on it. And then back in October, I think I showed we were collecting these stamps through our grocery store. And then you can get these pans for really cheap. So we ended up getting 2 of the pans we wanted. And I was going to make us some breakfast and like wash those pans so I could use them to make breakfast. I've been trying to stay on top of listening to records. So I was going to listen to this Andy Williams record while I made breakfast for us. I just couldn't wait to just get cozy and have breakfast. And yeah, so we ended up watching a movie while we ate our breakfast too, which we watched Christmas in Connecticut, which is a favorite of mine. And it was John's first time watching it, but I swear the 1940s made the best Christmas movies. So after that, I was going to clean up the kitchen some, and John was going to wrap my Christmas gifts. So he was going to do that in the dining room. And so I was told to stay out of there. So I thought I may as well put on another Christmas record. So we had listened to the Andy Williams one, and then I believe I listened to a Burl record. Yeah, this 12 Days. I have quite a few different Burl records, but I listened to this 12 Days of Christmas record, which I love. And then while John was wrapping my gifts, he came in the kitchen and said, I have a gift for you, but it's very Christmassy, so I think maybe I should just give it to you now so you can enjoy it for the rest of the season. So it was that Charlie Brown, like, Peanuts mug, which I do love. I've been using it a lot. And so after that record had finished, I put on this Nat King Cole record. This is another one of my favorites. Christmas records that I own. So I was actually going to cut John's hair for him while we listened to this. And then I was doing some more cleaning. I cleaned the bathroom, but I bought these. They're supposed to be in your shower for like grip, but I thought, what can I do to help Marley? Because she usually jumps up on the toilet. She jumps up on the back and then she walks over. So we think that she fell from the sink like down onto the floor, and we have like hard tile floor in there, so I put them all over the back of the toilet seat and I put them around the side of the sink as well, like on the inside and outside, and then down on the one side of the sink where she walks down. So she hates it. Every time she goes for a drink, she screams at me. I think it probably feels a little bit like sandpaper on her feet. I know cats don't like that, but I had to do something. So anyway, it's the next day. We did get a little dusting of snow again, which is lovely. I made John a grilled cheese for lunch. I'm having a salad. He also had some soup. And then now I guess I'm just chilling with Marley. I think this is probably before bed. Just I can tell that it's dark outside. And the next morning I got up at my usual time of 4, but I had actually gone back to sleep with the tree on. But when I woke up at 6:30, Marley was sleeping on the chair, which she very rarely sleeps on the chair anymore. So I usually, if I try to go back to sleep, like, Marley will just cry. So unless I turn the light on, I don't know. She is like so stuck in her ways. It's insane. But I mean, I just want her to have like the best rest of her life. So I just go along with whatever she wants. But then when I came downstairs, the tree is like set on a timer to come on in the morning. So it's always nice when you come downstairs and can see it from the hall. And so today is Saturday, and it's actually our 20-year anniversary on this day. And we were planning on going out and doing something. I wanted to go see Wicked, but I'd been so tired and stuff, I thought, you know what, I think I would just rather stay at home. John had been away for a couple of weeks, and I was like, I just want to be cozy at home. So using my new mug, and I was making a to-do list of things I wanted to do. We were like, let's just take some time and do some things in the morning. And then later I was like, I just want to just be cozy at home, watch movies. So I decided we should have some nachos. So John went out, and he had, I think the previous day, got the things that we needed for that. And it was like the best day just being at home. So I'm just cutting up some vegetables for that, and I was excited because I had found my favorite sour cream, so that was awesome. John's not a sour cream fan, but I was also just cooking up a little bit of Beyond to put on them as well. But I got all my vegetables cut up, and my Beyond, I just seasoned it with like taco seasoning. And yeah, I'm really particular. I like the thicker yellow corn round tortilla chips. And it's really hard to find them except in that big bag, but sometimes those are hard to find too. So anyway, we got them all made, and we usually just microwave them because the cheese is better. It takes too long to melt in the oven, like the chips will burn. I've like perfected it. I even had a can of Coke. It was just the nicest day. And we were watching one of my favorite holiday movies, Holiday Affair. It was just like the coziest, just loveliest day. So I highly recommend Holiday Affair if you haven't seen it. It's just another one from the 40s, I believe. I swear it's the 40s. But yeah, it was just so nice. And then we were just kind of chilling down there, and we decided to watch another movie because we're like, let's just not do anything all day, the whole rest of the day. So we decided to watch Elf. We had watched this one time before in the past few years, and we both didn't really like it that much, but so many people, it's like such a beloved movie. I was like, well, let's give it another try. We did like it better this time, but it's definitely not anywhere in the category of like a favorite or anything. So, but I probably would watch it again. Honestly, I think the best parts were like Ed Asner and Bob Hope being in it. But yeah, it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the worst Christmas movie. So I'm back to my advent calendar again. I can't believe how fast December is flying by. And really 2024 in general just flew by for me, I think. This is actually like the next morning because I'm opening too. I can see. So I got some soap, which I swear I have so much soap already because every time it was on sale I would buy it. But I love pink grapefruit. That's one of my favorite scents. I really like fruity scents because they like don't give me migraines. But I like Body Shop because it's not like too strong either. A lot of people, that's a negative for them, but for me it's not. But I also really like the Satsuma smell as well. It's one of my favorites for summertime. So I've just been creating this pile on my bookshelf of things to take downstairs and put in the linen closet that I just haven't got around to it, but I'm running out of room. So, and then it had snowed a little bit, so there was like a little dusting, and it just made me feel so happy the next day when I looked outside and saw that. Unfortunately, since then, it's rained. It's actually raining today, so all the snow that we had is gone now, but it was very nice while it lasted. I'm hoping it'll be there for Christmas. And so John actually, we had both felt like we were feeling a little sick the day before, but then that day when John woke up, he was like full blown, like, I feel sick. He like really couldn't even get out of bed. But I was planning on making breakfast for us, because those eggs were like, I needed to use those up. So I did end up making breakfast, and I just made like less for John, so he was able to eat it all. I just made like the toast super soft for him and all that. And yeah, I think I just came up here to hang out with Marley. But I felt bad for John. Unfortunately, fortunately, I guess, I didn't get sick at first, but I am sick now, unfortunately. So, but I was saying to John, at least we're sick now and not like over Christmas. So, I mean, there's the silver lining, I guess. But it started snowing again that day. I love it so much. I'm just so hopeful that it will be snowy at Christmas. So then, since I was actually feeling fine at this point, I did something that I was dreading doing, and that was cleaning out the fridge and the freezer and the deep freeze. So I brought up the squares from the deep freeze because I wanted to cut them. That's what I usually do. I just like cut them into little squares, because we usually have like more than one, like with a cup of tea or something. So I try to cut them fairly small. So I took those out so they could thaw, and then while I worked on the fridge and freezer, I don't know why exactly I was dreading it so much, but see, they just come in kind of big bricks individually wrapped. I was dreading it. I was putting it off for such a long time, but I knew that like I needed to see what we had, and I wanted to like use some things up or just make room for like the squares when I cut them, stuff like that. So for some reason, I was putting it off, but it was not that bad at all. And so if you're like putting something off doing, you're dreading doing something, this is your sign to just go ahead and do it. So I did the freezer upstairs, and then I went downstairs, which I didn't show that downstairs, but I rearranged some things down there. I brought up some of those spring rolls because I think I'll make some variation of Asian food soon. And then I also brought up the little turkey things that were down there for like Christmas dinner, I guess. And then I had unearthed this really big bag of Brussels sprouts that I knew was down in the freezer, but it was towards the bottom. And I just put it into smaller bags to use up. They're like starting to get kind of a little bit freezer burnt, so I need to use those up soon. So yeah, I feel so much better now that it's done too. Like, it's so stupid that I put it off for so long, and then I needed to do the fridge as well, just like clean it out. And I like to cut up any produce that I have, like to use up. I had accidentally poured like too much French dressing into a bowl, so I was just making some Big Mac sauce with that, and yeah, just tidying everything up and all that. And yeah, it felt so great, and it did not take that long either. I think I started doing this at 2:00, and I thought, well, I'll just do this until like 3:00, however much I get done. I wasn't thinking I was going to get the basement freezer done, but by the time I got all of that done and sorted, and I was also washing loads of dishes as well, the bars were like thawed out enough that I could cut them. And then usually what I do is just put some in the freezer, and then I'll put the other half like in the deep freezer. So did that. I just do like a little wax paper in between the layers. I wish I would have taken a before shot of the deep freeze, because it was very bad. Like, you could barely fit anything in it, but now it's a little bit better and I know exactly what's in there. So I had some like bread products that we had got like 50% off that I wanted to put in the freezer, but there wasn't enough room to put them in the freezer, so that was another reason. But then, so I was able to fit those in and the squares, and it felt great. So I'm having this Nanaimo bar as my reward for doing all of this. I did have a little bit more dishes to do, but it turns out it was only a little bit after 3. So like once 3:00 came, I was like, well, I may as well just finish doing it, but it felt amazing. So then later that night we were having tea. John still wasn't feeling that great, so we just watched a movie in like my room and just drank some tea. We were watching A Night to Remember, which I believe was also in the 40s, which was also a really great movie, and it was John's first time seeing it. Yeah, also starring Barbara Stanwyck, who was also in Christmas in Connecticut. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this second week of Vlogmas. I feel like it wasn't that festive because I'm not feeling that festive, so I'm hoping that I will start to feel more festive soon. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope your holiday season is going well, and I will see you again soon.